event in our U.S. history. And our very own city, Vicksburg, was a very big part of it. Vicksburg was the key to controlling the Mississippi River, and the Union wanted it. I have lived in Vicksburg most of my life, and I've always been fascinated with our city's history. Today I'm going to talk to you about how the different ways the Union invaded our city, the toll it took on our city's residents, and the surrender at the very end. I have with me two pictures of the two generals that were ahead of the two sides of the Civil War. We had Grant, who came, he was over the Union forces that came to Vicksburg, and General Pemberton, and he was on our side. He was defending Vicksburg. He was on the Confederates. Okay. In many ways, the Union tried to come at us, and the first way they started was they tried to dig a canal across the U-shaped turn of the Mississippi River to try to get their boats across to attack us. They first tried to attack us from the river, and the Confederacy just let them have it. There was no way with our heels that they could attack us from the river and actually win. So then they tried to attack us from the north, and they failed again. So I have a picture here of our battle lines. The red shows our defenses surrounding our whole city. And then Grant, with the Union, had his forces trying to surround us and try to just basically push us back. Here's another picture of actually just somebody painted of how it shows how this is like Fort Hill and how we were basically looking down on them fighting and how hard it was for them to fight up to get to us. After Grant's many failed attempts, he finally decided to just cut off all our supplies, to stop any boats from getting in, to let us have food or gun ammunition. The physical and emotional toll it took on our city's residents was devastating. Homes were being destroyed by the cannonballs, and Greg Bloom said that our residents even had to resort to living in caves. They brought their furniture, bed, lamps, whatever they needed to sustain life, they brought it into the caves with them to live. Food got pretty scarce pretty quick in Vicksburg. Any shelves of the stores were bare. That was any of the stores that were actually open. There was only a few. And Edwin Bierce wrote that all the horses and all the mules were slaughtered for their meat, and they were shipped to sent to the soldiers for food. Our own residents had to resort to eating rats because there was just nothing else left. After many of the suffering, Pemberton finally decided to surrender, and on July 3rd, 1863, he decided to go meet with Grant to talk about surrender. Well, the first thing Grant decided to do was he let the prisoners of war go, but only if they signed a document stating that they would never fight for the Confederacy again. And here's an example of a document where a prisoner wrote, signing and stating that he would never fight against the United States again, and he would never bear arms to fight for the Confederacy at all. Grant would only let them go if they signed this, and that was our first step to surrender. Of course, he said that he wanted Pemberton to sign a thing saying that it was going to be unconditional surrender, and Pemberton refused. He said, I'm not going to do that. The only reason why he wanted to surrender in the first place is because of the harsh elements that our soldiers and our residents were enduring. Finally, Grant and Pemberton came up with an agreement. They modified their plans and the documents, and they finally agreed that Vicksburg would surrender. So on July 4th, 1863, Vicksburg surrendered after 47 days of harsh siege. So today, I've talked to you about the many ways that the Union invaded Vicksburg. There are many failed attempts. I've talked about the physical and emotional toll it took on our city's residents. And then I also finally talked about Vicksburg surrender. This event changed the course of the Civil War altogether because the Union finally had control of the Mississippi River like they wanted. This also lets us see how that war can affect families and not just the soldiers that are involved